Welcome to Vital MTB's 2022 short travel test session. In recent years, the line between cross-country and trail bikes has begun to blur as World Cup cross-country racing has steadily moved towards more aggressive and technical courses, while everyday riders are looking for bikes that fly up climbs and provide a comfortable, stable, and fun experience on the way back down. While they aren't quite XC race bikes, they also aren't exactly trail bikes. So what are they? Eager to see what all the hype is about with these short travel, ride everything mountain bikes, we brought together 4 pedal-hungry and downhill-capable bikes to see how they perform across various terrain. Our goal was simple: find out where this exciting new category of mountain bike shines, what unique features set them apart, and ultimately help riders discover which bike would best complement their trails and preferences. In this video, we will discuss the performance of YT's Izzo. To read the full review, head to vitalmtb.com. With the most travel in the group, it should come as no surprise that YT's Izzo was the most forgiving and capable on descents, performing similarly to a trail bike. Employing 130 millimeters of travel front and rear, we felt at ease pushing our limits, knowing that Izzo could handle plenty of abuse without punishing us for taking less precise lines. We had no problem maintaining speed through rough compressions and found it easier to float over bumps where the other bikes tended to get hung up or deflect. The Izzo was also a joy to take down mellow flow trails and had the most natural feel when hitting jumps or bowled out berms. Featuring a full carbon frame, the Izzo is the only YT model to depart from their virtual 4-link design. Instead, it uses a horse lake configuration that opens up the front triangle, giving space for a full-size water bottle and tool mount. On trail, the full carbon frame was noticeably compliant and made for a smooth ride through trail chatter. The downside of this compliance was a lack of responsiveness when pumping to generate speed. Even though we found the rear suspension comfortably supportive and progressive, we consistently had trouble maintaining as much speed as the other bikes on low-angle descents. Once turned uphill, climbing the Izzo proved to be a comfortable yet slow-moving endeavor. With a more upright and rearward seated position, the Izzo again had more of a trail bike feel that mentally made us less eager to attack climbs. The suspension was also quite active under pedaling forces and relied heavily on the rear shock's lockout to maintain speed and efficiency.
This one climbed the slowest for me. It just felt like I was, it just felt like it was getting pulled back. The tires were pretty neutral out of the bunch. They didn't lean towards more XC or more downhill, so I know it wasn't the tires. I just think it was the positioning. Out of all the bikes, I felt this one was the most necessary to use the lockout. I think all the other bikes in the test group could probably go either way, but this one was definitely a necessity to use that lockout.
However, with the rear shock mounted upside down, the lockout switch was conveniently placed low and out of reach, making it difficult to lock out the shock while riding.
One of the weak points that we found is locking out the YT. You have to think ahead of where you're going to lock it out or unlock it because the reach on it's dangerously low to that bottom bracket.
Apart from the fact that it does feel like a trail bike when we're climbing, it does provide plenty of traction and it is comfortable. So it's less stiff, it's more comfortable, it's, some would say, more neutral, I don't know. But definitely far from the XC race bike feeling, and maybe the most lax of the group.
Weighing in at 29.4 pounds, the Izzo Core 3 build tested was the second heaviest bike in the group. It was also the cheapest at $4,299, highlighted by a Fox 34 Performance Elite fork, Fox Float DPS Performance Elite shock, SRAM GX Eagle 12-speed drivetrain, SRAM G2 R 4-piston brakes, DT Swiss M 1900 wheels, and Maxxis Forecaster tires. Standout components throughout testing included Fox's Performance Elite suspension and Maxxis Forecaster tires. While you don't get the shiny gold finish of Fox's factory-level suspension, the support, suppleness, and tunability remain with Performance Elite. The Izzo was the first time any of our testers rode Maxxis Forecaster tires, and they proved to be capable and predictable for our dry, loose, and hard-packed trails. For a lightweight trail tire, the tread design was aggressive enough to maintain traction and corner support without creating too much rolling resistance. Easily the least favorite component, a part of the Core 3 build, was the 150mm YT Postman dropper, combined with the low and long race-face turbine cockpit that kept us from shifting our weight rearward. We would also quickly swap out SRAM's G2R brakes. Even though the G2s employed 4 pistons and were matched with a 200mm front and 180mm rear rotor, the largest in the test, the stopping consistency and lever feel was subpar compared to the Shimano XT brakes used on the other bikes. So what's the bottom line on YT's Izzo? The Izzo for me descended the most like a trail bike in the group. It just had a little bit more ability to kind of get away with things in certain situations.
This bike is for the guy who prioritizes descents and jumping in their trail bike. But, you know, he'll go out and climb, but he's not in a hurry to get there.
So the YT was the slowest bike, but plenty of traction, really comfortable, and it felt like a trail bike.
It's worth noting that YT offers Izzos with drastically different build kits. The Core 3 model we tested shined most as a hard-charging mini trail bike and required too many adjustments to achieve enhanced climbing performance. For riders who are eager to fly up hills, save your money and reach for the more expensive Izzo builds with components that prioritize efficiency, weight, and pedaling performance.
This YT Izzo that we tested is a competent, lightweight trail bike that we feel comfortable taking most places. You know, obviously we did want to make some changes just to nudge it a little bit further into the trail bike arena. And we can make even more changes, such as different tires and, you know, even, you know, bigger rotors and things, maybe a longer dropper post. That would send it into, you know, even further into that trail bike category. But within the YT Izzo range, there is that dangling carrot of the uncaged model, which is in a totally different direction. You get a bike that's spec'd to the nines. I mean, 1,400 gram wheels, axis everywhere, and lockouts, both front and rear. So that would be a super efficient bike that could be quite interesting in certain scenarios, especially, you know, a longer race, as it will, maybe like the BC bike race or something. It'd be interesting to test that.
For a more in-depth analysis of YT's Izzo, please head to vitalmtb.com for the complete review. And to check out our complete short travel test session, click the link at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.